meet the needs of their patients. President Trump then made a plea to all Americans and stated, I urge, quote, I urge all Americans who are healthy and willing to donate blood to do so at a local donation center. Although World Blood Donor Day was yesterday, you can always find an organization like the American Red Cross to donate blood safely. As the president also mentions, quote, your blood donations can help minimize the harm inflicted by the coronavirus on our country. On another note, today, President Trump issued a message relating to Men's Health Week. To be honest, I didn't even know that this is Men's Health Week. Anyway, his message states, quote, each year in the week leading up to Father's Day, our nation recognizes Men's Health Week to raise awareness of the diseases and illnesses that affect America's men. By better understanding the unique risk factors that men face, we can promote healthier lifestyles and implement more effective prevention and treatment options for all men. President Trump also mentioned something that many of us can relate to. He said, men are less likely to visit or consult with a medical provider when faced with a medical issue or concern, increasing the chances of complications with any illness, including the coronavirus, that could be avoided with early detection and treatment. So let's take advantage of Men's Health Week to encourage the men in our lives to recognize the importance of maintaining their health and to get a checkup. This presidential message should remind all of us, men and women, of how necessary it is to incorporate better health practices in our day-to-day lives. As the president said, quote, together, we will build a happier, healthier, and stronger America. In Washington, D.C., I'm Melin Bondoc Ramos, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Back to you, Anna.
Thank you, Melin. That's a breath of fresh air talking about better health these days. Speaking of the World Blood Donor Day, what resources are there if someone would like to donate blood in your area?
Yes, Anna, the president mentioned the organization American Red Cross. You can go to their website at redcross.org, and there's a lot of information of where and how to donate blood. The president actually mentioned that the Red Cross and other organizations have implemented special protocols to protect donors from infection. We live in a very different time because of COVID-19, so if anyone wishes to donate blood at a local hospital, please do due diligence and research to make sure proper protocols are followed so that you can safely give blood. But yes, the best place to start with redcross.org. Well, how about you, Anna? Have you tried to donate blood?
Have I donated blood? Unfortunately, I don't meet the weight requirement. I'm always denying because I don't quite meet the minimum weight requirement. So that's my dilemma there. But that's good.
One of the requirements of giving blood is you have to at least have 110 pounds. So I envy your weight.
Oh.
I'm now eligible to donate blood post-pregnancy.
Here it's 115. So, but I was wondering, because you mentioned also Father's Day is coming up. Don't want to spoil anything for your husband, but are you planning any special treat, anything for him this Father's Day?
Good thing you asked that question because it's also his birthday tomorrow.
Oh, so nice.
We will be doing a celebration the same time with Father's Day. But then again, we will still have two gifts for him, one for Father's Day, one for his birthday. But we'll do everything on Father's Day. So we're just planning on a sweet balcony lunch, just a small balcony lunch for us while we are FaceTiming with the parents in New York. And hopefully my parents in the Philippines will also be awake by that time. So we'll try and connect with them too and eat at the same time.
that's a nice plan because that's something that, other people I've heard is doing, even though they're just FaceTiming, they, have food on their table and they eat at the same time. So, well, that sounds like a good plan. I'm sure he'll be happy for that.
Yes.
Well, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Imelin. Thank you for your report. We'll see you again next time. Coming up, more updates from our correspondents across the U.S. Stay with us. This is Eagle News.
Patindi ng patindi at tuloy-tuloy ang pagpapakita ng galing ng ating mga TNG aspirants. Abangan ang kanilang performances sa pinakamalaking talent competition sa buong bansa, Tagisan ng Galing.
This program is presented by SMC Infrastructure, building a better world. Sandig sugar-free white coffee, puno ng white coffee taste without the sugar, kaya lower calories. Try mo na Sandig sugar-free white coffee. Sarap ng white coffee, now sugar-free. Vet-approved Nutrichos, the only premium dog food with active boost for optimum energy and prebiotics that help strengthen immunity. Just like Catherine Bernardo, gawing listo ganado ang fur babies niyo. Listo ganado sa Nutrichos. Magnolia Chicken Templados, delicious, ready to cook and freshly marinated daily. Pure Foods Luncheon Meat, pure sarap for every family. Star Chunky Cheese Corned Beef, ang cheesy ng corned beef mo. Walang duda, kids can tell na number 1 ang Pure Foods Tender Juicy. Ang tender, ang juicy, ang sarap. Co-presented by Cooper, expert in air conditioning and electromechanical. Also engaged in structural, electrical, fire protection, plumbing, and sanitary services. Cooper, your ultimate MEPS and air conditioning solutions. Unlad Incorporated International, fight against global poverty. New San Jose Builders Incorporated. Canrib Corporation, your ventilation and air conditioning specialist. Vita Herbs Philippines Green Coffee, masarap, mabango, at healthy pa. Puerto Rico Resort and Convention Center, Cabiao, Nueva Ecija. I love Puerto Rico. In participation with Rain or Shine Elastomeric Waterproofing Paint, Matinco. R Square Variables Incorporated, Compizel Enterprises, Saisho International Trading Corporation, DN Steel, IMAC UPB Roof Corporation.
Hey, Gretchen Ho here, and I'm a white coffee lover. Creamy kasi, and very yummy. Pero mas masarap kung hindi nakaka-guilty. Check my new discovery, San-Made Sugar-Free White Coffee. Puno ng white coffee taste without the sugar, kaya lower calories. Try mo na! San-Made Sugar-Free White Coffee. Sarap ng white coffee, now sugar-free.
The successful development of TPLEX, or Tarlac Pangasinan La Union Expressway in 2009, a 4-lane toll road that extends from Tarlac City to Rosario La Union, with an additional approved extension of 56 kilometers all the way to San Juan La Union. This is expected to reduce travel time to Baguio and other provinces in northern Luzon. Realizing the vision of creating a better world for Filipinos fueled the team's focus.
Listo at ganado ang baby ko sa vet-approved Nutrichunks with active boost and prebiotics na pampalisto. Made with real meat, with essential nutrients to help them grow healthy and happy. Listo, ganado sa Nutrichunks.
Ikaw lang ang star ng buhay ko. Para sa akin, perfect ka. Ang cheesy ng corned beef mo. Pag Star Chunky Cheese Corned Beef, sarap ng corned beef, inangat pa ng real cheese cubes. Star Chunky Cheese Corned Beef.
Welcome back. This is Eagle News America. I'm Anna Cui in Las Vegas. In Maryland, the positive COVID-19 rate falls to 6.55%. And Governor Larry Hogan announces continuing Stage 2 reopenings. Arlene Ocampo in Fort Washington, Maryland has the story. Arlene?
Thank you, Anna. Today marks 1 month since the start of Stage 1 of the Maryland Strong Roadmap to Recovery. Maryland Governor Larry Hogan announced that the state of Maryland's positive COVID-19 rate drops to 6.55%. This is in all 24 jurisdictions. Hospitalizations have dropped as well, and for the first time in 10 weeks, ICU beds dropped to below 300. State officials are still encouraging Marylanders to get tested at any of the testing sites throughout the state, most especially if you recently attended any of the peaceful demonstrations or protests. Starting this week, the Maryland Department of Health and the Maryland National Guard will open testing sites across Baltimore City, which will include Baltimore Convention Center. Governor Hogan said, and I quote, "This truly is one of the most daunting challenges our state has ever faced, but sometimes the worst times have a way of bringing out the very best in Marylanders. And while I cannot promise you that we will fully recover from all these problems quickly, I will tell you that together we have faced and overcome daunting challenges before, and that we will get through these tough and difficult times together." The majority of Maryland reopened last Friday, June 12th, with Stage 2. PG County entered Phase 2 as of this afternoon at 5 p.m. Montgomery County is slated to reopen sometime this week, and Baltimore City will remain at Stage 1. Here's a breakdown of the additional Stage 2 reopenings. For indoor dining, modifying the floor plans, making sure that customers are 6 feet apart, except for when a group comes in together. Opening up every other booth, and buffet format is prohibited. Maximum capacity shall not exceed 50% of its maximum occupancy. For outdoor amusements, this includes go-karts and mini golf courses. For outdoor sports, this includes outdoor pools, increased to 50% of its capacity. And playing of sports may resume as activities, but not open to spectators. Graduation ceremonies, outdoor only. Appropriate capacity and distancing should be followed. With these additional reopenings, business owners are encouraged to take pledge in creating a safe environment, which includes social distancing. Places of businesses are routinely cleaned, and continuing to follow CDC guidelines, the Maryland Department of Health, and their own industry. Governor Hogan said, and I quote, "The fight against this virus is far from over. In fact, now more than ever, we must all continue to remain vigilant. Our health and economic recovery depends on all of us continuing to exercise personal responsibility in order to keep ourselves, our family members, our neighbors, and our co-workers safe." In Fort Washington, Maryland, Arlene Ocampo, Eagle News, we live in interesting times.
Thank you, Arlene. So that's good. Congratulations. You finally made it to Stage 2. That's exciting for you. With the additional reopenings, how does this affect the graduating class of 2020? Any plans change for them?
Well, Governor Hogan is actually encouraging the school system to organize and hold these ceremonies, but of course outdoors. And depending on how big or small their graduating class may be, as long as their ceremony enables them to practice social, as long as the venue allows them to practice social distancing, then it's doable. And of course, they still have to abide by whatever regulations that particular venue may have.
Of course, yeah. Well, what about you? I know in a previous conversation, you're dying to get a haircut. Are you ready to venture out to go out there?
No, not yet. I'll wait a little bit. I'll just let it grow.
You're not brave enough, because I've heard, from friends, from other people, they've actually got desperate enough to look up YouTube videos, right? To do like
Yes.
your own DIY haircuts. You're not.
I actually checked that out when the whole COVID situation started. There are like particular shears that you have to order. So and I don't trust myself to do it by myself. So I'll just wait.
You just wait. Okay.
Yes.
How about with the dining? I know you haven't really been going out, but have you ventured anywhere new since the stage 2? I know that was only last week.
No, I haven't. Sorry. I'm not brave enough. I'll admit.
That's right. Everybody has our own comfort level, and so I mean, when it's time, when you feel comfortable and you feel safe, of course.
Yeah.
So we'll hear about it next time, I guess.
Of course.
Thank you, Arlene, for your report.
Thank you, Anna.
Thank you. All right, take care. New Jersey enters stage 2 of its reopening. Business owners reopen, but are concerned about consumer confidence. We have Mayanne Manzano-Gorzon in Sicklerville, New Jersey.
Thank you, Anna. Let's begin with New Jersey's latest numbers of COVID-19 related cases. There is 274 new positive cases reported today, bringing a statewide total of 167,103 New Jerseyans tested positive. Sadly, we have 52 new deaths, adding to a total of 12,676 fatalities. On a positive note, New Jersey continues to have a statewide decline in total and new numbers of hospitalizations, ICU beds filled, and ventilators in use. Rate of transmission also continues to trend among the very lowest in the United States, and spot positivity rate from June 11th was 2.6%. New Jersey enters stage 2 Monday, June 15th. Now onto the headline. New Jersey enters stage 2. Business owners reopen but concerned about consumer confidence. The administration of Governor Phil Murphy today released results of an online survey conducted in conjunction with Rutgers University Heldrich Center for Workforce Development earlier this month that drew responses from nearly 4,000 businesses and nonprofits across the state. Results of the survey demonstrate overwhelmingly that while the business and nonprofit community is eager to get back to work, owners understand and take seriously the public health risk posed by COVID-19 and the responsibility to provide a safe experience for employees and customers. Many worry about the effect of a possible second wave of the virus. Governor Murphy says that this survey verified much of what they anticipated as they began the process of restarting the economy. He also added that while business owners are eager to get back to work and get their operations back up and running, they remain concerned about consumer and employee confidence and are eager to avoid a second wave of this insidious virus. A majority of owners, 51%, cited consumer confidence as the most pressing issue, while 13% cited access to personal protective equipment as their biggest concern. Approximately 1 in 10 said employee confidence would present the biggest challenge to reopening, while 4 in 10 listed employee confidence as one obstacle but not the most pressing one. Respondents want state government help to reopen safely, particularly guidance on reopening restrictions, guidance on safety measures to keep employees and customers safe, and help in acquiring disinfecting and cleaning products. The majority of respondents will rely on state and local government and Department of Health guidelines, greater than those who will rely on Centers for Disease Control and industry and association guidelines. Respondents are evenly distributed across North, Central, and South Jersey, and businesses vary across New Jersey sectors. The survey included a non-probability opt-in sample of respondents and was distributed via dozens of New Jersey industry groups, chambers of commerce, and non-profit organizations. In Sicklerville, New Jersey, Mayanne Manzano-Gorzon, Eagle News. We live in interesting times.
Thank you, Mayanne. That's pretty thorough. That's a good good-sized sample of those that they surveyed. How do you think the restaurant owners are adjusting to the outdoor dining only policy out there?
Anna, here in South Jersey, based on my personal observation here around in my area, almost all of the restaurants have now installed maybe 3 to 6 tables outside their store with umbrellas or tents. We've also noticed that employees are equipped with PPEs, and social distancing is observed by the customers as well as the wearing of face coverings. So it's very comforting, Anna, to see that the restaurant industry is really adjusting to this new policy as well as the customers. Anna?
Yeah. And you know, and personally, as a consumer, how about you? How do you feel about going out to restaurants and other non-essential stores?
Anna, I think I'm like Arlene. I'm not brave enough. I share the same sentiment as these business owners that responded to this survey. You know, at this point, though, I hope that this feeling will not last that long. I think I still lack that confidence to eat out with my family, especially I have a baby, and to go shopping at physical stores, except for groceries, because I have a hard time doing grocery shopping online, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I have to go to the grocery store to do that. So yeah, I feel like I need to wait it out a little bit, Anna, but I'll be sure to give you an update for when I do my outdoor dining and shopping at the mall. Anna?
Yeah. Well, it's I feel the same way here in Vegas. A lot of it feels like it's back to normal. Except for, you know, when you see people wearing masks and you see the changes they make, but pretty much there's just way too many people everywhere I go now. Well, going back to, you know, you said they're setting up outdoor tables. How's the weather playing in that out there?
Well, it was good, Anna. Well, we noticed earlier, since this is the first day, today was the first day of the stage 2 reopening for outdoor dining. Some are very successful in that, because some restaurants were really missed by many, but some restaurants who opened today as well was not really performing well. But I believe they're still adjusting. People are still adjusting, and many like us are still not that confident or brave enough to go even for outdoor dining. So maybe the next couple of days, Anna, we'll see more people like myself will be more confident patronizing this outdoor dining.
Yeah, but there's also some reports on restaurants insisting to open indoor dining, right? So, you know, how do you think the authorities will address that, or do they have guidelines at this time?
Anna, that's a very great question. There is no specifics, however, from the state officials as to what would they do to business owners who will defy the state order. However, Governor Murphy said that to those restaurants who have reopened despite the governor's order, there had been legal discussions to provide the right guidance. There had been a warning that they will face enforcement, and there had also been summons to some of the restaurant owners or business owners. Anna?
Okay. Well, hopefully everyone just, you know, complies. It's for the good of everybody. And
Yes.
okay, last question, man. I promise I'll let you go. Since the reopening of parks and beaches there in New Jersey, plus, you know, with the protests, the recent protests for social justice, and of course we hear of like what I think the last time I heard was there are about 22 states reporting a spike in their, you know, new positive cases. How is it there?
Here in New Jersey, Anna, fortunately, from the daily COVID-19 briefing today, it has been reported that for 2 consecutive weeks now, 14 days here in New Jersey, there has been we have been reporting less than 1,000 positive cases. I know that still sounds a lot, less than 1,000 still sounds a lot, but you know, Anna, for New Jersey, that's already a big progress, because you know how New Jersey was one of the hotspots of coronavirus at the beginning of March, or at the beginning of the outbreak. So with that, the state officials confirmed that they are not seeing any large spikes since the stage 1 reopening, and given all of the protests that happened earlier this month. Anna?
Well, that's good to hear. It's really interesting that, you know, the ones with the, especially with New York, they were the worst, but now they are the ones who are doing pretty well with the reopening. So, okay, well, thank you so much, Mayanne, for all that information. Thank you for the report. We'll talk to you again next time.
Thank
Take
you,
care.
Anna.
When we come back, more COVID-19 updates from our correspondents. We'll return shortly. Make sure you stay with us. This is Eagle News.
COVID-19 is an infectious disease caused by a new coronavirus introduced to humans for the first time. It is spread from person to person, mainly through the droplets produced when an infected person speaks, coughs, or sneezes. These droplets can land in the mouths or noses of people who are nearby. These droplets are too heavy to travel far in the air. They only travel approximately 1 meter and quickly settle on surfaces. This is the reason person-to-person spread is happening mainly between close contacts. The exact time that the virus can survive on surfaces is not yet known. So it is wise to clean surfaces regularly, particularly in the vicinity of people infected with COVID-19. Hands touch many surfaces, which can be contaminated with the virus. You should therefore avoid touching your eyes, nose, or mouth, since contaminated hands can transfer the virus from the surface to yourself. When coughing or sneezing, cover your mouth and nose with the bend of your elbow or use a disposable tissue. If a tissue is used, discard it immediately into a closed bin. The most effective way to prevent the spread of the new coronavirus is to clean your hands frequently with an alcohol-based hand rub or soap and water. This will eliminate the virus if it is on your hands. Stay healthy and prevent the spread of COVID-19.
Mga kababayan, naharap na naman po tayo sa mabigat na pagsubok na ito. Ito yung COVID-19.
I hope everyone's okay. I hope everyone's safe.
Nandito po kami para hikayatin pa po kayo na maging matibay.
Mas maging matatag po tayo and just stay positive po sa lahat po ng nangyayari ngayon.
Mga mahal kong kababayan, lampasan po natin, pagtagumpayan po natin ang pagsubok na ito.
Stay strong sa panahon po na to.
Huwag tayong mawawalan ng pag-asa.
At inihikayat din po namin kayo na sana makinig po tayo sa ating gobyerno.
Sumunod muna tayo sa gobyerno dahil yun yung pinakamainam na paraan para hindi na lumagana pa yung virus.
Let's all stay at home.
Spend time with our loved ones, with our families.
At higit po sa lahat, make sure to pray. Pray for everyone. Pray for everything that is going on right now. Especially our frontliners po who are sacrificing their lives to take care of everything.
Higit sa lahat, patuloy tayong lumapit, magtiwala at manalangin sa ating Panginoong Diyos.
At lagi tayong manalangin dahil yung po ang may pinaka-mainam na solusyon sa lahat po ng mga problema natin.
God bless you and your family. Please stay strong and keep our faith.
Tuloy po ang laban.
Hello, my name is Robin, and I'm 5 years old. My mom and dad said many people are getting sick. That is why we have to stay at home. That is why I cannot go to school. I cannot play outside, and I cannot even visit my friends. We can only go outside if we visit the doctor, or if we need to buy some food. And when we get home, we have to wash our hands. While I'm at home, I do my homework, clean up my toys, help cooking our food, and help my parents with their work. Please stay home so we can all play together again. Bye!
Know the latest news and information here and abroad in Agila Balita, the morning and noontime news programs brought about by the synergy of Net25 and Radio Agila.
Get the fresh news and reports from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao in our midday newscast in Agila, Pilipinas.
Track the latest stories in the provinces in Agila Provincia.
Be aware of important events in the region in ASEAN in Focus.
And be updated with the biggest news around the world with the support of its international correspondents and volunteers in Eagle News International.
Tune in to Mata ng Agila and get the day's headlines and news that are sharp, accurate, and objective. Catch all of these on Net25, your reliable source of news, entertainment, and technology updates.
You can also watch our news and current affairs programs and entertainment shows through our Eagle News and Net25 Facebook pages, YouTube channel, at Eagle News, and in our live streaming sites. Be informed with relevant news and information in these interesting times.
Welcome back. You are watching Eagle News. I'm Anna Queen in Las Vegas. Pennsylvania to spend $260 million to help people with intellectual disabilities and autism. We have Myla Simbulan in Swarthmore with a report. Myla?
Thanks, Anna. In order to help continue to provide services during the COVID-19 pandemic, Governor Tom Wolf announced that people with intellectual disabilities and autism and all those that provide support services will receive $60 million in CARES Act funding. There are currently more than 40,000 Pennsylvanians who receive assistance through Department of Human Services programs or facilities, and this will help fund all these vulnerable individuals. It will help improve their quality of life, even those who are taking care of them. Their families and loved ones will also feel a sense of relief that even during this pandemic, the highest level of care are given to those individuals. Here's Department of Human Services Secretary Teresa Miller.
As the governor said, today we are announcing the release of $260 million in funding from the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security, or CARES Act, for providers that support Pennsylvanians with intellectual disabilities or autism. These dollars are intended to supplement the budgets of an industry built on the values of service, caregiving, and inclusion, an industry that's been hit particularly hard by the COVID-19 pandemic. I want to start by thanking the service providers and direct support professionals who've persevered and continue to persevere through an unprecedented crisis to maintain Pennsylvania's home and community-based system of critical supports for individuals with intellectual disabilities and autism.
The $260 million will be allocated through the following: $90 million for providers of residential, respite, and shift nursing services, 80 million for providers of community participation support services for 120 days of retainer payments, covering operations from March through June, and 90 million to providers of in-home and community supported and small group employment, companion, and transportation trip services for 120 days of retainer payments, covering operations from March through June. With more than half of the state in the green or final phase of the process to reopen, another great news was announced by Governor Tom Wolf. Let's hear it from him.
Over the past 3 months, we have made a lot of progress in slowing the spread of COVID-19. I keep coming back to that because we've had a lot of good news here in Pennsylvania. Now, even though more businesses are reopening, more people are returning to work, and more activities are resuming, we're still seeing sustained low new case counts, which is really good news. And Pennsylvania's peak never actually reached the heights of other states because we took early aggressive action. So this is a reduction in new cases over a small, relative to other states, peak. While other states and countries are still seeing spikes, I think the New York Times reported 23 as of this morning, states with spikes in their case counts as the reopening. That's just not happening here in Pennsylvania. And that's because we have been methodical in the way we reopen, and it's because Pennsylvanians are really taking this seriously.
Although there is a lot of progress in slowing the spread of COVID-19, the Wolf administration continued to stress the role of Pennsylvanians in helping to reduce the spread of this pandemic, like washing your hands, covering any cough or sneezes with your elbow and not your hands, wearing masks, and staying at home if you're not feeling well. In Swarthmore, Pennsylvania, Myla Simpula, Radio News, we live in interesting times. Back to you, Anna.
Thank you, Myla. That is a lot of good news indeed. You know, even with all the reopening, everybody, it sounds like you guys are getting back to normal, still getting those low numbers. So that's good to hear. So with all this positive news happening out there, what's next for you?
So more than half of the state now is in the green phase, and for the reopening process. And I think it's still important, it's still essential that we continue to take precautions to protect against COVID-19. And in order to do that, we still continue to wear masks or maintain social distancing and washing our hands frequently. We still need to continue to do all those things so that we don't protect ourselves, but we also protect all those vulnerable and essential workers and the whole healthcare system.
Right. It's just about continuing to do, you know, what's best for everybody, not just thinking about ourselves, but, you know, everybody else. What about what about for you and your family? What have you ventured out lately to do?
Actually, just today, we just came from fishing because I feel like my kids need something to relieve their cat fever. So we went out fishing today, and also unlike Mayan, we went to a restaurant. It's outdoor dining, and I was scared, you know, to do it, but then my family's already hungry, so we decided to go to a restaurant. We actually went to a place an hour and a half away from our home because we're still in the second phase here in Pennsylvania, but we went to a place where it's already on the green phase, which is the new normal phase.
Nice.
So yes, so we decided to go there and go to a restaurant. It's outdoor dining. It's kind of scary at first, but when you see what the people are doing, like the waiters are doing, they're all wearing masks, and they cannot sit actually together because there's 5 of us. The maximum is 4. So they decided to seat us on it's sort of like a bar where there's a divider between 4 and there's a 2-seater. So they get together, but there's still a divider in between. It's only it's made of wood and they put plastic on it. So my husband went with my 2 kids and I went with my youngest. So whenever we need to talk, we need to open the plastic, so we can share food, or if we need to talk to each other. But all the waiters are wearing masks, and you can also see them that they're wiping after customer leaves the place. They're gonna wipe the table, and there's limited seating. It's not really cramped. When you usually go to restaurants, you usually bump into the other table, but not this time. It's really tables are far away from each other, and they even have a sign on it, like you're on a box. They put tapes on it so that you'll stay on that table or stay on that box. So it's interesting what's the new normal now. When you restaurants.
Yeah, I know. And and going out to eat was always been like, for my family, it was always like a nice treat for us. It's one of the times when we really spend quality time with each other. So for a minute there, when you said limit was 4, I thought one of you got left out. So that's good that you still able to eat together somehow. So, well, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Myla, for that report. And hopefully, continue to we hear more good news from Pennsylvania next time.
Yes, thank you, Anna.
Bye, Myla. Take care.
You too.
We're going to go to the West Coast. Los Angeles County is on phase 3 of its recovery plan as residents acclimate to the new normal. In West Hills, Eagle News correspondent Daniel Glenn Sekulis with the story.
Thank you, Anna. Los Angeles County is currently on phase 3 of the LA County Road to Recovery. With businesses slowly opening up and Angelinos reacclimating themselves to the new norm, the Los Angeles County Department of Public Health strongly advises everyone to choose wisely. Avoid the 3 C's: confined places, crowds, and close contact. The more C's, the higher the risk. Planning ahead and taking preventative steps will reduce the risk of contracting COVID-19. Some steps the Los Angeles County Public Health Department advises Angelinos to take are to keep interactions with others short, increase ventilation, avoid sharing food or drinks, avoid touching our faces, wear a face cloth covering when around others, and practice frequent hand hygiene. Ahead, stay informed of updates regarding COVID-19, and being flexible to change activities to avoid the 3 C's are also key ways to reduce the risk of contracting this illness. With Los Angeles currently on stage 3 on the road to recovery, recreation, learning, and entertainment are now able to begin reopening as long as they were able to meet physical distancing requirements and infection control precautions. Some of the businesses and establishments that were able to reopen on June 12th to the public are swimming pools, professional sports without live audiences, production, movie, music, and film, hotels, short-term rentals, drive-in movie theaters, and campgrounds. The businesses and establishments that remain closed to the public for now are arcades, stadium arenas, festivals, theme amusement parks, basketball and volleyball courts, youth sports leagues, soccer leagues, and live performances and concert venues. In Los Angeles County, the number of new cases increased with 1,071 newly reported cases, 19 new deaths. The total number of confirmed cases in the county are 73,791, with 2,926 deaths, as announced today by the Los Angeles County Public Health Department. Meanwhile, the state of California now has a total of 151,452 confirmed COVID-19 cases and 5,089 deaths, as recorded by the California Department of Public Health. In West Hills, California, Daniel Glenn Sekulis, Eagle News. We do live in interesting times.
Absolutely, we do, Glenn. Thank you for that report. Now, aside from the the usual reminders, continue to wash your hands often, keep physical distancing, is there any other advice from the Angelinos need to consider before heading out there? Because now that it's it's so open.
Absolutely, Anna. Well, just because the type of business or workplace has been cleared to open, it doesn't necessarily mean they're ready for customers. Before heading out to a restaurant or a favorite hair salon, people should first call to make sure they're actually open. Just don't rely on an internet research, because some companies' websites haven't been updated since the pandemic. So the hours of operation you might see online might actually be accurate.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's happened to us where we just check out the opening hours and it's not, we get there and they're closed. So absolutely, it's good to call ahead. Well, what about you? Like for you, I know you have 2 girls, right? How old are they?
So Eliana is 12 or about to be 12, and Gabrielle will be 14 this year.
Oh, okay. So teenagers. Early teenager, and I know we'll hear about Eliana in a little bit. But so, what are your girls, been looking forward to?
So I guess the biggest thing they're really looking forward to is going back to the malls.
Typical girl. I should have guessed that.
Yeah, they can't wait to get there. Getting out to the parks is great. Getting out to the beaches are great. We actually went out and ate lunch at a restaurant earlier today, and just like stated before, the social distancing is kept through every other table being used, plexiglass dividers, as well as every waiter waitress using a face mask as well as a face shield. But definitely the malls, number one.
Yeah. Well, I think they still have a little bit of wait, right? Because I think only the open, I can't speak for California, I haven't been there in a while, but I know here, only the outdoors, like the open door malls are open. So
that's correct.
I'm sure the positive thing is that they've been able to save, or you've probably been able to save lots of money with the malls being closed.
That has been a blessing in disguise, I think.
So watch out, Dad. I know Father's Day's coming, but it might be your turn to take him out shopping. Well, thank you, Daniel, for your report. We'll talk to you again next time. Continue to be safe. All right.
Thank you, Anna. You too.
Governor Gavin Newsom shares the latest on California's response to the COVID-19 situation. We have Macy Membrera in Sacramento with the details.
Thank you. In a press conference today, Governor Newsom addressed the current numbers of the coronavirus in the state of California and what we are doing to address this. Some notable things he discussed were the increased testing done in California and how the percentage of those testing positive have stabilized, as well as the hospitalization rates have also stabilized. Now, at this moment, Governor Newsom expressed that because of the preparations done previously for hospitalization capacities as well as access to ventilators, the state is able to address the needs of patients with COVID-19, which is good news.
Based upon the current census of 3,103 COVID positive patients, less than 6% of that surge capacity has been accessed. So this is an important point about our capacity. If the numbers go up, hospitalizations go up, the question is, can we absorb that? And the answer today, at least, is yes. Again, based upon the work that we've done over the last number of months to prepare to reopen our economy and prepare for the likelihood that we will see an increase in not only number of positive cases, but also the prospect of increase in hospitalizations. Accordingly, on ICU capacity, we've worked hard to identify our ICU capacity space. There's close to 11,000 staffed ICU beds in the state of California, but roughly 3,775, I say roughly, that's a snapshot as of last night. Today, plus or minus, those numbers will change. But you get a sense that we have capacity in our ICU system to address the needs of COVID-positive patients, which currently is 1,053.
Now, Governor Newsom also discussed how the state is monitoring all 58 counties and that each county is responsible for opening their own economy at their own pace. So specifically with Sacramento County, the most current public health order stated that the county has moved into stage 3 of California's roadmap to reopening. To close out the press conference, Governor Newsom expressed the importance of using PPE, social distancing, and washing your hands in order to avoid a second wave of COVID-19.
As we mix, as we reopen, inevitably, we're going to see an increase in the total number of cases. It's our capacity to address that that is so foundational, and to make sure we're prepared for spikes. The reason we put this slide up is in 1918, you saw in the flu pandemic, that the first wave was relatively modest. That's the wave we're still working through. It was the second wave where things peaked because people said, we've got this. People said, we can go back and we don't need to wear masks. You can read about all of this. One should read about all of this. If history doesn't repeat itself, as Twain said, it certainly rhymes. So let us be cognizant of that past and let us be mindful of our present. We don't want to experience this second wave as they experienced in 1918 in the fall, and even in the early part of spring 1919, that third wave, without the kind of preparation that is required at this moment. And that preparation includes not just the state of California working in partnership with the federal government and the private sector to have the hospitalization, to have the PPE, to have all of this inventory, but it's also incumbent upon us as individuals to be smart, to wear a face covering, to physically distance, to continue to wash your hand, and to do the kinds of things that are necessary for us to avoid that second wave. I've long said this. You've heard me say it on nauseam occasions. I'll say it again. The future is not just something to experience. It's not just in front of you. It's inside of you. It's our decisions that determine our fate and future.
In Sacramento, California, Macy Membray, Eagle News, we live in interesting times. Thank you. In a press conference.
Thank you, Macy. Coming up, we will visit Eliana's kitchen in West Hills, California, as she shows us how to make some mouth-watering potato poppers. We'll return shortly. This is Eagle News.
Makinig kayo sa aking payo. Ito ang tandaan ninyo. Huwag sasaksi sa mga bagay na hindi naman totoo. Huwag magbibitiw ng mga salita kung hindi ka naman sigurado, lalo kung nakasalalay dito o dangal ng isang tao. At sa mga nakikita sa internet, huwag agad maniniwala. Mag-ingat upang hindi kayo madaya. Dahil alam naman natin, hindi lahat ng balita ay tama. Maging matalino. Huwag magpapaloko. Mag-ingat sa pagpo-post, pagla-like, pag-share ng kung ano-ano. Dahil baka mamaya hindi mo na namamalayan, isa ka na pala sa mga tao nagkakalat ng maling kwento.
Welcome back. You are watching Eagle News America. I'm Anna Kui in Las Vegas. Now, in this three-part series of Eliana's Kitchen Special, EBC friend Junior Chef Eliana Sakulis will share with you recipes for a full-course meal. And today, we start with some mouth-watering appetizers. Aled Basalahe of our Los Angeles Bureau gets the best seat at the table. Take a look.
Good day, Eagle News viewers and foodies around the world. Back by popular demand, and when I say by popular demand, I mean I want to taste her cooking again. We've returned to Eliana's kitchen. How are you doing, Eliana?
I'm doing good.
Last time I was here, your kitchen looked a lot different because we were inside the house. Where are we now?
In my backyard.
But now we have the sunny weather the geckos and the lizards out, keeping us company. So is it now a good time to be outdoors cooking?
Yes, I think it's nice weather and it's good.
What are we preparing today?
Today I'm gonna make potato poppers. First we're gonna make the filling. We're gonna add garlic, a half a brick of cream cheese, some sour cream, some Mexican styled cheese. I'm using Mexican styled, but you can also use cheddar, sharp cheddar, any cheese you would like. I like a lot of cheese. Gonna add a little more cheese. I love cheese. And that's the filling. We're gonna head over to the potatoes. Now, take out the middle of the potatoes.
Are these potatoes raw?
No, I boiled them first for about 12 minutes at least. And you could save the rest of the potato for another recipe or anything. And we're just gonna make them potato skins. So, we have the extra potato. We're just gonna place them on the pan. Put the potatoes down there, and I'm just gonna keep on taking out the filling of these potatoes. Now I'm gonna fill the potatoes with the filling I just made. So you can put as much as you want, but I'm just gonna make sure they're filled to the top. Just like that. You don't wanna overfill them just like how I did because they're gonna go everywhere. With the rest of the potato of that I scooped out, you can do whatever you want with it. You can actually mix it with the mixture.
This is what you were talking about, right? The extras. So what would you do though? You would mix the filling with this, and then would you also bake this?
You would put it in the potatoes too. Now we're gonna take olive oil and just put it in a little bowl or anything you want. And we're just gonna brush the potatoes, the outside of the potato. Also, you can use parchment paper or whatever to put on the pan. And I'm just brushing it with olive oil. This makes it more crispy. Now that I'm done brushing them with olive oil, I'm gonna take some salt and just sprinkle some salt at the top. Not too much because I don't want it to be too salty.
And this is regular salt?
Yes. Then we're gonna take some pepper.
Let me help you out.
Thank you.
But I see you have two types of pepper.
I have white pepper for pasta and black pepper for seasoning and for taste. Now we're gonna bake it at 350.
So of course, Eliana, the obvious question is when people watch this segment, they're thinking she wants to be a chef when she grows up or a caterer. Has that crossed your mind?
I would like to be, but I'm not so sure yet because I'm still in school. And I don't want to worry too much about my future yet, but I'll keep thinking about it.
All right, so why don't you hold this up for us? Ladies and gentlemen, take a look at the first part of the 3-course meal that Eliana has prepared for us. And these are potato poppers from Eliana's kitchen. We can't wait to try them.
Well, I guess it's about time to take off your mask now.
All right, well, brace yourself for the big reveal. Are you ready?
I don't see a difference.
I've been trying to grow this for 3 months. Okay, but there's no difference. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the moment of truth. I'm going to try for the first time one of these incredible potato poppers.
Alan, however, would not taste the potato poppers just yet.
deciding instead to wait for the main dish and dessert to be completed first.
What are you doing?
To catch the next dish of our 3-course meal, watch for our future report from Eliana's Kitchen. In West Hills, California, Alan Basoyahe, Eagle News, we live in interesting times.
Oh, what a teaser that was. I wanted to see what he thought, but okay, I get it. He wants to wait for the full course. Thank you, Alan, and thank you, Eliana. We are looking forward to course number 2. And make sure you stay tuned for that, ladies and gentlemen. Let's continue to thank our frontline and essential workers with a round of applause. We continue to appreciate each and every one of you. And before we end, congratulations to the graduates of 2020. We are all so proud of you.
Elijah Marie.
Elijah Resno. Julia May Caldo. Casey Marie Reyes. Resmel Buon. That is today's ABC International coverage of the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Anna Kui, and we live in interesting times.